Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about the best-selling cards under $5 for Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the Yu-Gi-Oh! Penny Stock Market Watch. We're just going to jump right into it as soon as possible because there is a new king or queen in town. Exo Sister Michaelis cannot be destroyed by battle with a special summon monster with a monster special summon from the graveyard. You can only use your effect on return. It's this card was Z summon by using an Exo Sister monster's material. Target one card your opponent controls or in their graveyard, banish it. Use attachment material from this card, add an Exo Sister spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So, as far as a card for an archetype is concerned, it does not get much better than this. Um, wow, is this card really good? And we're seeing why it is, even though the price of it has been going down, it's just because this is the pre-market value, right? We're seeing, I mean, they're flying, literally flying off the shelves, right? I mean, a couple of people are buying just one. I'm not sure. If someone let me know about the Exo Sister archetype, which if we just take a look real quick at this, I would venture to say, as far as budget decks are concerned, it is one of them, right? When we're talking about $5.38, $5.22 for ultra rares, $3, $4. We just looked at this card, obviously. There's the collector rares versions of Sophia and packs. Obviously, those are going to run you more, but Stella, 20 cents. Collector's rare version of the card you're just seeing, $40. I think this is the most expensive card in the deck because it's the best one. But then after that, literally pennies. Not like a penny stock in the sense it's under $5, but literally 3 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents. So I'd venture to guess that this is just a fun archetype. And it reminds me of an archetype like Time Thief. It's an Xyz summoning based archetype that a lot of the casual players like to play. Because here's the thing about the casual players, at least in my experience, they like the game more. Most of the meta players, the meta sheep, they like to win. They like card games. And it's not like they don't like Yu-Gi-Oh! But I just think that genuinely there will be less likely to try a bunch of other decks. What you'll see, casual players have like 12 or 13 different decks. And sure, Exo Sister's not going to top a regional or win a YCS or a remote duel invitational or a PVG or whatever. It's still a fun archetype though, and that's why we're seeing the number one card under $5 is an Exo Sister card. So it's just something to look at. I don't even know what the rest of the archetype looks at, but I just knowing the market and the way it works, I'm fairly confident that the archetype must be fun, right? And right now too, it's great because Grand Creators just came out. It's got that it's got that element of surprise vibe to it. It's got that, I don't know what this archetype does. What's an Exo Sister, right? But we'll continue onward and forward. We're seeing Faithful Adventure here. This is going to be sitting out at $2.48. It's not always the... Okay, so it's the cheapest one. A lot of cases, too, this won't be the cheapest price. The first one TCG Player shows, especially if it says TCG Direct. But what's cool about TCG Direct is that you're less likely to get scammed with a TCG Direct order, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. But this card's sitting there. But a lot of times the Grand Creators, like that's like the newest set. That's where we're gonna start to see the random things pop up. But it's interesting because we look at the entire set of Grand Creators, and we got another Punk Monster way down here. We'll talk about the Strudo in a little bit. But if we just go, not to this monster, obviously, or to Dragon Ball, but to the Grand Creators, it's kind of... It's not doing super hot. It's not. It's not like, okay, if we look at overall what the highest card is, right? We got the Water and Tranches Collector's Rare. If we get past all these Collector's Rare here, I'd watch out for this. I know it's not a penny stock, obviously, or even close, but Collector's Rares always seem to take off. And the thing is with this set, and this is why I'm talking about it, $60. And this just came out. And it reminds me of another set that we've talked about here on the Penny Stock Market Watch because I could save $3. Thank you so much, Microsoft Edge. This is not spelled correctly. but it reminds me of a set, Genesis Impact, and we've talked about Genesis Impact before, um, because it's it's $50 in and of itself. Still, it's still there, right? Like when I talk about the penny stock market watch, I don't want to just talk about like this card is under $5, this card's under $5, but also what are good investments for that budget player, like the person who's not trying to spend $1,000 but does still want to mess around with the Yu-Gi-Oh stock market. Um, what cards are going to get, what sets do they get. I've talked about Dual Devastator, I've talked about the Spiritual Restructure deck, I've talked about Genesis Impact, which is still one of the better ones to get just because it's got these two cards in it, it's got the Evil Twin stuff in it, it's got some Drytron stuff in it, it has potential, and I would dare say the Grand Creators is right in that category. But sitting at $63 after release, like the day after release, that doesn't usually happen. But it happened because there's just really nothing in here. Like I said, once we get past the collector's rare, the most expensive card is $50, right? And it's not going to take a lot for an archetype like Exo Sister or Nah Punk, however you say that. It's not going to take a lot for those archetypes to take that next step. And we've seen Konami sometimes give random archetypes randomly amazing support, right? There's some decent reprints in here with the Telly, Solemn Strike, and Torrential Tribute. I got 5 copies of this card. I still recommend getting it. I think it dipped down a little bit. The market price is 87 cents. I don't know where 29 cents was coming from, actually. I got 5 copies at 50 cents. And so this card is already doing it. And this card is an example of what I'm talking about, right? Like, you're going to get your value out of this set. I know it looks like a horrible set because there's no $100 card. There's no lottery ticket, right? It's not Ghost from the Past where you're going to pull a Ghost Rare Dark Magician and be able to buy a slightly used car, right? Or maybe a puppy or something like that. Like, you're not going to get $1,400, $2,000 from one card, obviously, in here. But there's value to be made here. These 3 especially are already starting to creep up in value, right? And like I said, all it's going to take, and we're already on the second page, and we're already at 12 cents, 50 cents. I mean, the most expensive thing on the second page is $1.50. So I know you're probably not pulling Grand Creators because if we're being fully transparent, it's not that great. Ties of the Brethren is another good reprint. Goki Pull rarity bump. I think that's the highest rarity of Goki Pull, right? There's 2 commons. No, it's another rare from Soul Fusion. Um, but still, that's the ties for the highest rarity, right? So you get what I'm trying to get at, right? This is very low key right now, and it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. This is one of the type of art. This is one of those type of sets, though, that maybe not even a year, but 1 or 2 years down the road, we're all of a sudden looking at this set like, oh my goodness gracious, the Grand Creators is $70, or the Grand Creators is $100, right? And does it have the potential to get so high that we're rich, we're making hundreds of thousands of dollars off Grand Creators? Probably not, but the value is here. 2 of the top 3 selling cards, or 2 of the top 5 selling, 3 of the top 5 selling cards, 2 of the top 3, they're from the Grand Creators. And so it's not going to take a lot. I don't know Nah Punk very well. I don't know Exo Sister very well, but I would venture to say they're like any other archetype where they're not that far away from absolutely exploding. Right, but the last card I want to talk about is going to be, like I mentioned previously, is the Trudeau. Looking real quick, RIP, this one. Okay, so we do still have penny stocks. We have, does anybody have a calculator? 216 plus 278. Well, 16 and 78. And this is 0%, no sales. So good luck with that. But 284 plus 10 is 294. So this is 494, right? This is 478. This is also 478. This is also 478. 477, 477. And then the very first one is holding the line at 476. So this version of this card is very, very close to being over that $5 mark. But let's take a look at the one that brought us here, right? And the reason why this is one of the most sold cards under $5 is because everybody wants this card, right? This card, because it can activate in the hand, can activate in the graveyard, and it's a tuner, and there's really no cost to it, no drawbacks to it at all. It's insane. It gets splashable everywhere. I mean, obviously, we look at an archetype like Sword Soul. We look at an archetype like Virtual World. Um, that's obviously going to be better for Destrudo. Dragon Link is like the most obvious because it's a dragon, it's dark, and it's a tuner, right? Like there's so many applications, especially because it also has level manipulation, so you can summon out Guard Dragon Pitsy with it as well. Like there's so much you can do with Destrudo and Dragon Link. It's actually insane, and those are three relatively meta decks. But it's not just those decks that can run Destrudo. Any deck can run Destrudo. You don't even need to do it to use it for synchro material. You can use it for link material, right? Because Destrudo really got out of hand once links were all over the place and started to be really good because people started to realize like we could just use Destrudo for link material, right? Kind of why Level Eater is banned, right? And we look at this card right now. We were just talking about the other one. I think the lowest one was 396 or something like that, 376 or something like that. This one's just as expensive. So this card almost certainly will not get banned. I don't think it's been that big of an issue. I think it's sitting. I think it is a card that's either it has to be um, banned or unlimited. I'm a little surprised it's at 1 because I don't really think anybody's ever ran this card at 3. And I think the fact that it's a 1 of will hold the line on this price for a while. But I don't really think this card is at any risk of getting banned again, right? So I think it's a pretty safe investment, but it's not going to give you a bunch of reward. Like it's got more risk than reward because you risk it getting hit by the ban list and the price dropping. And it is possible that it does get hit by the ban list, or it is possible it gets like a reprint randomly in another set or a structure deck that lowers the value. And I don't think the reward. I don't think it's gonna be like a $10 card. And I might eat my words in 3 months. I don't think it's gonna be a $10 card anytime soon, right? But if you think it has that potential, by all means, now is the time because we are very, very close. I know, the price, shot up after the ban list, and now it's calming down a little bit. But look at the first ed. The first eds are already starting to creep back up, right? And so it's only going to take, probably by the end of the day, it's going to start creeping back up. Both this version, the Circuit Break version, as well as the Mega Tin version. The OTS Super Rare, unfortunately, is not as penny stock. But let me know what you guys think. What cards under $5 are you most excited about? Let me know in those comments down below. Make sure you click that like button and that subscribe button to show your support for the channel. But most importantly of all, have a good day.